All right, what's going on YouTube? Card Collector 2 coming at you here with a brand new video, and today we are back at another card shop for another episode of Collections, Card Shops, and Collectors, a series we're bringing you on YouTube to highlight the best the hobby has to offer. Today we are in Louisville, Kentucky to showcase Louisville sports cards, what I believe is one of Kentucky's finest card shops. We're going to go inside here and interview Chris, the owner of Louisville Sports Cards, talk to him about his collecting journey, how we got his shop open, and what their future plans might be. So let's go inside and see what they are up to. All right, what's going on, guys? Ryan here with Chris from Louisville Sports Cards. Chris, thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming in, man. Good to see you. Yeah.
So we are here in Louisville, Kentucky. Chris, how long has this shop been here?
We opened in 2015.
Okay. So was this your first location?
No, we started a couple miles away, just in a smaller shop, just to kind of test the water, see if this is something we wanted to do.
Okay. And when did you move to this location?
2016, 2017.
Okay, so it's been about 4 or 5 years?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, so how has it been in Louisville, right? I've been to Lexington, I've seen Jimmy's shop, we've actually featured him on here. how's Louisville?
It's great. I mean, we don't have a sports team, so we pull from Cincinnati Reds to the Bengals and surrounding areas. We're huge college football, huge college basketball with the University of Kentucky, University of Louisville, so huge fan base.
Cool. All right, and I think you said before we started, Lamar, really popular in this area?
Lamar is very, very popular in this area.
Interesting.
2018, and when he was drafted, seems like half the city became Ravens fans.
Very cool. All right, so we are going to get into this. I think you guys will really enjoy this. They have a lot of stuff, and with that being said, that was the first thing I noticed when I walked in. I told Chris when we first got here, you walk into this place, and I'm sure you guys will have seen it in some of the B-roll that Brian shot. The first thing you notice is just the selection, and really the selection of single cards. So when you walk in right away, you've got showcases, you've got football, basketball, and baseball. That intentional, what's kind of the thought process behind the vast selection of singles?
Well, we tried to have a good flow. So, we got high-end football case with a little overflow from basketball, higher-end basketball case, baseball, and then the showcases in the middle of the shop are a touch more affordable, and then you get into all the dig boxes over there that are 10 cents up to a couple of bucks. We just try to have something for everyone.
Okay. Yeah, so it's so we've talked about this with some other card shops about like eBay versus in store. Do you guys do a lot of eBay sales as well, or is a lot of your stuff in store only?
It's an equal mix. We're Louisville Sports Cards on eBay. We sell probably 60% of the singles are through eBay. I try to move as much out of the shop as possible just to avoid all the issues with eBay.
Sure.
With all the new collectors coming in and just the constant messages every day, I gotta sort through emails to eBay to,
Sure.
You know what I mean.
Yep. A lot of new inquiries in the hobby recently for sure. So again, I think that's one thing that stood out to me right away is if you're looking for something, there's definitely a good chance you can find it here because the selection is really over the top. There's a lot of different stuff, but in addition to the singles, there's also a ton of product, right?
Absolutely.
There's a lot of hobby boxes, but I also noticed some other things, right? You've got old school boxes, you've got packs, you've got retail, right? It looks like you guys are, while you do have a lot of the cool high-end stuff, you also are trying to hit another customer. It's something we focus on a lot. Absolutely. Not everybody can afford a 2018 select football box.
I mean, some of the prices of wax have just gone absolutely crazy. So many new kids and people are coming in the hobby, and it's constant education. So I try to carry as much retail as I can get, which is getting harder to find.
Sure.
And then you got all your nostalgia people coming back in that haven't been in years, people 30s, 40s, 50s,
Sure.
and they gravitate more towards these 80s and 90s boxes.
Yep.
That used to be called like junk wax. It's not junk wax anymore.
Yeah. And it's hard to beat that though too, because I mean, you look at some of these boxes and you see a $12 price, a $20 price, an $18 price. A lot of that stuff, I mean, you're getting 36 packs in those boxes and they're $20. It's
you get a lot of bang for your buck. You have a lot of fun. I mean, it's pretty cool. If you haven't been in the hobby in a long time and you grab an 89 Donruss box, you hit a Griffey, it's a good feeling. You see these guys light up. And then after they're educated a little bit, they move maybe into some retail or move to some hobby boxes. This is just a good way to reintroduce yourself to the hobby and have fun with your kids, really.
Yeah, I like it. I think that's one thing. We don't currently offer that now, but that's definitely something we want to expand in the future, is just the, like you said, the junk wax era box.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so as we move along, again, you'll see a lot more product, a lot more baseball. You say you specialize in baseball. Is like baseball your major sport?
I don't want to say we specialize as a shop, but like me as a collector, I am mostly a baseball fan. I'm a diehard Cincinnati Reds fan.
What do you think you sell the most of here? What sport?
Probably basketball. Basketball is usually king, but during football season, football really kind of dominates. It just dominates ESPN.
Sure.
But baseball's really solid year round. But I'd say mostly just with the constant rollover from Kentucky basketball players, University of Louisville players, we have a huge basketball following.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Moving along, this is something I noticed as we got in here and we were chatting. This is kind of cool. This is something I saw once before at Andy's shop, and I thought it was a really unique concept. But this kind of looks like a GOAT case, like a LeBron, Jordan.
It is.
A lot of,
Yep.
I see some Kobe, and then you've got some cool baseball here. But I think stuff like this is unique because I don't see this in a lot of the card shops we go to. You got LeBron autos, you got Jordan autos. Like that's stuff you don't see in general. Tell me a little bit more about like why this case was set up.
I mean, after Kobe passed, so many people came in just specifically looking for Kobe, for Jordan with the Jordan documentary, and then LeBron. So it was just easier to have all of our mid to higher end singles of those players in one spot, so I could just go right towards it. Because people come in and ask for all sorts of players. It takes me a long time to find everything to give them some options. So this just made it a lot easier on me, really.
Yeah, very cool. And then going through here, I see a lot more baseball, but I also see some Marvels, some Elvis. I see a soccer card mixed in, some golf, doing a little bit of like the other sport, the kind of fringe sports.
Trying to. Stuff walks in for sale every day. I mean, the non-sport stuff is great. It's fun. I have a pretty good amount of collectors that we're always asking for it. So I try to have something for everybody. I'd love to expand on our soccer cards. The soccer market, I think, is about to explode. It kind of is exploding.
We actually hear that a lot.
Yeah, my knowledge is not the best, but luckily I got some good guys that come in here that educate me.
That's awesome. And then, again, looking at this shelf, see a lot of supplies, a lot of top loaders, soft sleeves, one-touch bags, graded bags. But one of the things I've seen at other shops we've done this with is it's kind of like it's an eclectic group of supplies, right? You've got Ultra Pro, BCW, Beckett. Just seems like in order to have it these days, you almost need a little bit of from every
You got to take with what you get. It's like a scavenger hunt found in supplies. I'm sourcing from every distributor, other shops. We're going to shows and buying them on eBay, Amazon. I mean, supplies used to be the easiest thing in the world to get, and you can't. We've been out of 55-point top loads for like a year. I just can't get them, and I'm not going to pay $12 a pack for them.
Yeah. I remember when I first opened, like you said, it was just. You got asked every day, hey, do you need any top loaders? You need any soft sleeves? Sure. Like they were like add-ons, right? At the end of the, like when you go check out at the grocery store, it's like, do you want an add-on on a candy bar? It was like literally added on to an order. Do you need any soft sleeves? Do you need any top loaders?
And now I don't even ask that.
Yeah, now they're like, yeah, we don't have it. You don't even need to ask. So yeah, just different how much stuff can change in such a short period of time.
I mean, a lot of supplies are harder to get than a lot of cards. I mean, I used to carry every different size of top load, every thickness, all the different snap cases, all the different mags. I mean, I'm out of so many things, I just can't get it.
Yeah.
It's
kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
All right, so moving on. I know we talked some more about this off air, but I want to kind of hit on this. 2 full showcases of vintage. You mentioned to me before we started, this is where you really started.
I just love the history of baseball, and it's my passion, and it's really what I wanted to offer the most when I opened a shop.
Sure.
And I get at we have a really good vintage following around town.
Really?
A lot of set builders. Oh yeah, a lot.
Yeah, is that what that stuff is in the back too? Is like, are those complete sets or those partial sets?
Those are complete sets.
Gotcha.
Yeah, all those over there. It blows me away how well some of this 80s and 90s stuff sells, but as all these new people come back in the hobby, they want to get the stuff they couldn't afford when they were kids growing up.
Sure. Yeah, this is I've talked about this a couple times. This is definitely not my expertise. This is something we've slacked in, but I mean, looking at these cases, I've seen them. Andy has something similar. He's got a couple showcases as well that are just full of vintage. I think that's one thing we got to work on, is getting somebody in shop from my team that knows vintage as well.
You should. I mean, if you're new to modern, there's so many different sets. There's so many inserts. There's so many parallels. There's so much to learn. You know, in 1958, there was only one set. It was 58 top. So it's really not as hard to learn the vintage as people think it is, especially when you got like 5 or 6 guys that are, you know, Mantle, Aaron, Clemente, Mays. I mean, once you grasp all that, it's pretty easy. I mean, the modern can be very overwhelming, and it's a constant education to new people that come in the shop. So the vintage is kind of a relief, per se.
Yeah, like I said, it's I don't offer it, but it's definitely something. Looking at this, like I said, I want to offer, but something we do offer, and I see you offer it. I noticed it when I walked in. A lot of value boxes. This a pretty popular area for you?
This is all like 10-cent to quarter cards, mostly 10-cent stuff. I give a lot of it away for free. I feel like it's just something you have to have for kids, for set builders, and then for somebody who's coming in who's looking for more of an obscure player that I'm not going to have in the showcases. You can kind of run over here kind of quick and find somebody. A lot of guys going to minor league games and stuff, wanting cards for signings and stuff. So
in-person autographs.
Yeah. So this is constantly changing, almost every day. As we buy a deal, the back end of the deal goes over here. It's a lot of fun. It's been really popular. It's kind of a pain to keep it organized because kids just destroy it. But
yeah, it's we have 10-cent stuff. I mean, we've actually been fortunate to have some team members who have sorted it by team, but like keeping it, like you said, just keeping it organized has been the biggest challenge. Getting it's not been super hard, but keeping it organized has been a challenge.
Getting it's as easy as you want it to be. But keeping all this stuff organized by sport and then some of it by year, it's a constant challenge, but that's part of it.
So continuing on, all this stuff, this is all value boxes, a little bit higher end than this stuff?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's going to start in like early 50s, climb up through the 70s, mostly for set builders for the most part, and then stars in the football, vintage football, stars in vintage basketball, golf, and then it just moves into more value boxes. $1 cards, $2 cards and up.
Yeah, so I think this is cool. I mean, we have a lot more of the value boxes sorted by sport of more of the modern stuff, but I think this, like, I mean, you have a whole, like you said, 50s, 60s, 70s sorted by set, all price. I think that's definitely something I would love to be able to add, is vintage by year. I think that's...
Of our dig boxes, those are probably our most popular.
Really?
Yeah, really. And keeping those stocked and priced and organized is, I mean, something we do every day.
Yeah, sure. Now, what about, because we're also in this area, you also see, you got a couple signed jerseys, you've got signed photos, you've got bobbleheads, all sorts of stuff, Mickey Mantle signed pieces.
It's kind of like you call it, it's all eye candy. This is a slower sell, it's kind of a nichier stuff, but especially around Christmas, this is some of the hottest stuff in the shop for sure.
Yeah, that's actually funny you said that, because we talked with Sports Card Junction with Chad. He literally said the exact same thing. He said during most of the months of the year, it's never out. During Christmas, it sells a lot, and he said we bring a lot of it in from storage for that because so many people want it during
I have it all over my
Christmas.
house in my basement. And a lot of this retail stuff I have back here, I have back there for reasons. I don't really want all of it out to sell right now because I am holding it back for Christmas because I know all the kids that come in around that time. I want to be able to have something that's affordable for everyone.
Yeah, very cool. I never thought about it like that. All right, so as we get ready to wrap it up, a couple last things I noticed. Can't help but notice that it's actually a good sized space in here, but right down the middle, you've got more showcases. I thought this was really unique. What's kind of the thought process behind a whole row of 10 showcases?
It's a lot.
11 showcases?
Well, I mean, first of all, when we go to a show, these are all removed. So but we try to utilize as much space as we can. I mean, we only have about 1,200 square feet. We have very little storage, so this is a way for us to put mostly $10 to $75 cards out without having them just hidden in a box.
Yeah.
We haven't had to deal with a lot of theft, but there's definitely been some, and I just try to minimize that as much as possible.
Sure. Yeah, definitely one of the more unfortunate parts of the hobby is keeping the assets secured, for sure.
Absolutely.
As the hobby has gotten a lot more notoriety the last couple years. I know that's been certainly a big issue.
Absolutely. It's no fun catching somebody stealing. It's something we don't deal with very often, but when we do, we have to unfortunately take action.
Yeah, not fun. All right, wrapping it up. Want to ask the question we ask any other guests we've had on here is, you've been in this hobby for a long time.
Yep.
Right.
I'm an old man.
You've learned a lot. If you were starting over today, what piece of advice would you give yourself?
From a dealer standpoint, just take it slow. Don't try to dive in and do everything at once. We opened the shop in 2015, and I probably went a little too fast, and you can get a lot of money tied up. But from a collecting standpoint, just collect what you like, and worry about the investing later.
Sure.
This is a really fun hobby, and it's supposed to be fun. You're getting into it because it's fun, so don't stress out about it. Don't worry about investing. That'll come as you learn and dive into all these products and learn about all these checklists and stuff. It's not as complicated as some people make it out to be.
Yeah, that's great advice. That's one thing I preach a lot with. So much investment advice out there, right? If you really just stick to what you enjoy, if the cards go to $0, you'll never be upset, because I always say I would collect these cards. I would collect these cards if they were worth no money at all. They just happen to pay bills. And
in the last 3 months, I've heard that we're investing more than I've heard in being in this hobby my entire life.
Sure. All right, where can people find you?
We're in Louisville, Kentucky, in Middletown, 11519 Shelbyville Road. We're on Facebook, Louisville Sports Cards. We're on Instagram. It's a long handle. It's Louisville Sports Cards Shop. And that's us. That's it.
Sure, Brian. I'll put them somewhere down here. But appreciate you having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, man.
Absolutely. That's all I got for now, guys. Peace.